There are words that come from wisdom, and then there are words that come from experience carved into the soul. Muhammad Ali lived a life few could imagine, a world champion, a cultural icon, a voice of justice. But behind the speed of his fists, behind the fire of his confidence, behind the poetry of his declarations, there was a philosophy, a simple sentence that carried the blueprint of his entire journey. What keeps me going is goals. This is not just a quote. It is a compass, a formula for greatness, a reminder that visions create champions and goals create legends. Today, we explore the deeper meaning behind Ali's words, the struggles, the victories, the sacrifices, and the unstoppable momentum that came from a life guided by purpose. The architecture of a dream, calm atmospheric music, reflective tone. Every legend begins with a dream, but a dream becomes reality only when it is transformed into goals. Muhammad Ali understood this before he ever stepped into a ring. Long before the lights, the belts, the fame, and the legacy, he was a young boy who understood something adults often ignore. You don't rise by accident, you rise by intention. Ali knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't want to be good. He didn't want to be better. He wanted to be the greatest. A dream speaks to the heart, a goal speaks to the future. Ali wrote his future in bold letters, and then chased it with everything he had. The boy who refused to be average, soft piano with a tone of nostalgia, Louisville, Kentucky, a segregated city, a place where young Cassius Clay was expected to remain silent, compliant, ordinary. But he wasn't born to be ordinary. He wasn't tall as a kid, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the strongest, but he had something more powerful, a direction. When his bicycle was stolen, the anger didn't break him. It awakened something inside him. A police officer told him, "You better learn how to fight before you look for the thief." That moment created a goal. One goal created a passion, and passion created a legend. Ali didn't grow in the silence of comfort. He grew in the noise of adversity. Goals is fuel, not fantasy, confident motivational music. Anyone can dream. But Ali understood that goals must be backed with discipline. He trained with precision. He studied opponents with obsession. He worked when others slept. He visualized every punch, every round, every outcome. He once said, "I'm so fast that last night I turned off the light switch and was in bed before the room was dark." Behind the jokes was the truth. His confidence was earned through hours of practice, repetition, and sacrifice. Goals gave him a reason to wake up early. Goals gave him a reason to keep going when tired. Goals gave him direction when others were lost. A goal is not just a plan, it is a source of energy. Ali understood this deeply. The Liston prediction. A goal turned prophecy. Tense music builds, 1964. The world saw Sonny Liston as an unstoppable monster. Ali, then still Cassius Clay, was seen as a loudmouth kid. But Ali didn't just enter the ring to fight, he entered to fulfill a goal he had already written. "I'm going to shock the world," he said, and he did. He danced, he moved, he stung like a bee. He executed exactly what he had rehearsed, not once, not twice, but thousands of times in training. When Liston refused to fight the 7th round, Ali didn't just win a title, he won a destiny. And as cameras flashed, Ali screamed, "I shook up the world." That victory wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was a goal fulfilled by relentless commitment. The name Muhammad Ali, a goal of identity, emotional depth, slow music. Changing his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali wasn't a random decision. It was a goal of spiritual identity, a declaration of self-respect in a time when such boldness carried enormous consequences. Ali wanted to be more than a fighter. He wanted to be whole, spiritually, mentally, culturally. His goals weren't limited to the ring, they shaped his identity. He taught the world that goals are not only about achievements, they are about self-transformation. The draft refusal, a goal worth sacrifice. Somber, serious tone. When the U.S. government drafted him for the Vietnam War, Ali refused. He stood with his beliefs. He stood with his conscience. He stood with the truth inside him, and he paid the price. Stripped of titles, banned from boxing, criticized, mocked, threatened. But his goal of remaining true to his values kept him going. He once said, "I'd rather lose everything than betray my faith." For Ali, goals were not about comfort, they were about meaning. The return. Goals stronger than time, triumphant music rising. After years of exile, Ali returned, older, slower, but more determined than ever. He set a new goal. Take back what was taken. Joe Frazier stood in his way. George Foreman stood in his way. Critics, age, and physical limitations stood in his way. But goals kept him going. He trained smarter, not harder. He studied weaknesses. He adapted to his older body. He invented the rope-a-dope. And in the rumble in the jungle, he defeated the unbeatable George Foreman. The world saw a miracle. Ali saw a fulfilled goal. The inner dialogue of a champion. Soft, inspirational piano. What most people never hear are the conversations Ali had with himself. When tired, he repeated, "I will not quit. When I can't go anymore, I go anyway. I will finish what I started." Ali used goals as anchors. Whenever life pulled him, he returned to them. Whenever pain hit him, he rose above it. Whenever doubt whispered, he silenced it with purpose. Goals were not just objectives, they were lifelines. The wisdom behind the quote, calm but powerful. What keeps me going is goals. This was Ali's secret, his engine, his fire. It means you don't need motivation, you need direction. You don't need confidence, you need purpose. You don't need comfort, you need commitment. You don't need guarantees, you need goals. Ali taught the world that goals don't just move you forward, they pull you forward, even on bad days, even through pain, even in the dark, even when no one is watching. The legacy of a goal-driven life, cinematic finale rising strong. Ali's life ended with Parkinson's disease. But even then, he didn't give up. He continued humanitarian work. He traveled the world. He inspired millions. He lit the Olympic torch. He became a symbol of courage, not just strength. Even weakened, his spirit was unshakable. Because goals don't end when abilities fade. Goals evolve. Goals grow. Goals outlive the body. Ali's legacy is the proof. A man with goals becomes unstoppable. A man with goals becomes immortal. Music softens deep emotional tone. What keeps you going? What wakes you up? What drives your heart? What future pulls you forward? Ali has left us with a roadmap, not just to success, but to meaning. He lived with goals. He trained with goals. He fought with goals. He survived with goals. He inspired with goals. And today, his words echo stronger than ever. What keeps me going is goals. The question is no longer about Ali. It's about you. What goal will keep you going?